Hello guys, welcome to YJ Digital World. On today's video, I'll be teaching you how to create an event flyer using Photoshop 2020. Please, if you're new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. You can also give this video a like. Likewise, you can also check me up on my socials at YJ Digital World. So in doing this, I'll be making use of Photoshop 2020. So let's get into it. Firstly, I'll have to create a new workspace for this project, so I'll click on create new, and the create new document panel that comes up, I'll be calling this Divanite. That should be the name of the project. Okay, the unit of measurement is in inches. My width and height will be on 4 each. Likewise, my resolution 300. My color mode is set on RGB because we'll be using this flyer. It will be used basically for social media purpose. So after that, I click on create. Now you can see I have my workspace here. So let's get into the creating of the design process. So I'll go to my adjustment panel over here, slide over to solid fill, click on the solid fill here. So here is the hex code for my solid fill. I just copy it and paste it over here. Okay, so after pasting it here, I have to create a noisy kind of background effect. So for me to do that, I hold Alt on my keyboard and click on my new layer here. I'll call this noise. Okay, change this to soft light. Turn on the 50% neutral color and click on OK. So after doing that, I'll right click on the layer and convert it to a smart object layer. Come to my filter, move over to noise, add noise, and set my noise. Adding the noise, and make sure I select the monochromatic. That is what I'm using, the black and white noise effect. So I'll click on OK. We'll try to add a little bit of other colors to this project. So for this, I'll be adding a new layer. Okay, and here is the color code for the brush effect that I want to apply. Here is the color code. So I'll come to my brush here, select my brush and increase the size back to the actual size. Make sure my opacity and flow are set at 100. Come to somewhere around here. You can use the open and bracket key beside your P button on your keyboard to increase and reduce the size of your brush. Okay, so if your brush is not showing like the way mine is on the screen, just know that your caps lock is on. All you have to do is to turn it off. So just come over somewhere here and just click. Okay, after doing that, you come to the layer here, right click on the layer and convert it to a smart object. After converting the layer to a smart object, all I have to do next is to change the blending mode to color dodge. Okay, after doing that, I also come over to Gaussian blur here on my filter, come over to blur, add blur. I'll set my blur to about 92.97. I'll click on OK. Okay, so after doing all this, all I have to do is to hit Ctrl T on my keyboard. See, I hold Alt on my keyboard to scale from the middle, left click and drag. To somewhere of this size. I think this is okay. I'll click on the check button. Okay, so after doing that, I'll notice the background is too bright. I can come over here where I have my noise and add levels, add curves precisely. So on this panel here, all I have to do is to add a little bit of shadows instead of highlights. Here you have your highlights, here you have your midtones, here you have your shadows. So I'll add a little bit of shadow to this. You can see how it looks on the project. Now after doing that, I'll close this. Okay, after closing this, I'll come over here and reduce the opacity. You can see the before and after. I'll reduce the opacity a little bit. I don't need it to be too much on the project. Okay, that's before and after. So after doing that, I'll also come to the first layer here where I added the light effect. I'll come here. All I need to do is to duplicate this solid layer here, hitting Ctrl J on my keyboard to duplicate. I'll drag it above here. So after taking it here, I'll change the blending mode to soft light as well. After changing it to soft light, I'll reduce the opacity. So about, let me see, 53%. I only need this effect to be around these edges of my project. I don't need it to be along the middle region of this design project. So all I have to do is to hold Ctrl and click on this layer. I've made a selection. Okay, so after doing that, I'll come over here, click on this mask layer, hit Ctrl backspace. So this effect is more at the edges, not within the middle part of this project. So after doing that, I'll select the whole layers and group them. So you select the first one, hold shift and select the last layer. So you can just come over here. If you are using 2020, you click on this, it will help you to group it. But if you are not using 2020, you just have to drag it to this icon here. It will enable you to group it. So for this background BG, so I hit Ctrl D to deselect. So after doing that, the next thing we'll be doing is to place other elements for this design project. You can come over here now to lock by background. For now, I'll come over here and bring in a model image. So after placing the model image, please note that this model image I've already worked on it in terms of adding the shadows, little adjustment in terms of retouching of the images, adding of colors where needed. Okay, so I've already worked on it. I had to do that in order to reduce how lengthy the tutorial video will be. To achieve this project and make this more successful, I'll be adding a little bit of depth to this project. So one of the ways in which I can add depth is by creating shadow effects on this project, so making my model look very realistic, as if she's sitting or standing on a surface. So for me to add this depth to make it more realistic, I have to pick my brush tool here, change my color here to something of this nature. I'll bring it to the front. So I'll come over here beneath her, click this layer here which I've locked my background, add a new layer, right click with my brush and reduce the size, the brush structure to something of this. Okay, after doing that, I'll just come over here and brush. Can you see the effect? So I'll zoom in, Ctrl+ on my keyboard to zoom in. Okay, pick my move tool to actually position this where I want it to be, then reduce the opacity. I don't need it to be highly intense. Okay, you can see it works this way. So I'll make a duplicate and also move it to somewhere around here as well, rotate it towards the angle of the shoe as well and position it this way, making it look more real in terms of light, the direction of light coming in from the body of the model. So after doing that, I'll come over here, select the layers together I'll hit Ctrl G, is another way to group. Ctrl G on your keyboard. So I'll call this model. Okay, after doing this, the next phase is placing of text. So for me to place my text properly in my design interface, on my work interface, I have to set my guide. I bring in my guide, and these are the measurement scales I use in setting my guide. So I'll just click on OK. So after doing that, let me start placing text. Left click, I'll paste it in here. So I'll click on OK. The font I will be using is the Mid-Alta San. That's the name of the font. I'll change my font color, my fill color to white. Okay, hit Ctrl T and scale out properly. Okay. Okay, so after doing that, I hold Alt to make a duplicate of this same text. Okay, after making the duplicate of this same text, edit and paste it in. So after placing the text in, Ctrl T and reduce the size to fit with the text up there. I also come here, place a guide around here to be sure that okay, I'm doing the right thing. I also make a duplicate of this holding Alt and make sure that they are vertically in line together. Okay, after doing that, you select the three set of text, come to your move tool here and click on this. It will enable you to to space the text equally. You can see the space between the middle one to the top and that of the bottom are equally spaced. So I'll group this. I'll call them team. So I'll select them and group them. I'll call it team. Okay, so Ctrl T and choose to scale it down a little. Okay, Ctrl A, align horizontally. Ctrl D, deselect. So after doing this, let me bring in my next set of text, paste it here. After pasting it, I'll change my font to Montserrat. Okay, change the type to semi bold. Ctrl T, increase the size a little bit. Okay, come over here, change this type to regular. Click OK, then increase my tracking, that is spacing between text. So I'll come over here and drag it and place it somewhere around here. You can see it. So after doing that, I'll close my character panel, come here, select my model layer and drag it above every other layer. Okay, you see how it looks. So after doing that, let me turn on my guide back on. I'll be placing other set of text and I'll paste it here. Check, change. I'll be using still the Montserrat but another class. Reduce my tracking to 0, increase my leadings, Okay, so after doing that, I'll just drag this text and position it somewhere around here and increase the size. Okay, come over to my notepad, bring in the next set of text. pick my text tool and paste it here. So after pasting it here, I'll change the type to something of this. Why this set of text, I'll change them to something of this nature, this size. Okay, let me still reduce it to medium. So I'll click OK. I'll drag and position it here. I'll transform the size a little bit. So I'll hold Alt again and make a duplicate of this. And paste it in here. Okay, as well. So I'll come here, we change this to regular or medium. Okay, regular is okay. Then I'll increase this to bold. Okay, is another way to create emphasis. The main emphasis here is the phone number, so I reduced the typeface of the other set of text and made more emphasis on only the phone number. So I'll come here, increase my tracking a little bit. Ctrl A on my keyboard, select your move to align horizontally, select the epitome address and align horizontally as well. Ctrl D to deselect, then position them properly. So in this project I have to bring in other images as well, such as this. I'll place it around here, reduce the size, scale it down. Okay, add a little bit of curve, max the curve. You can see the effect on the bottom. After doing that, so bring in the next set of shape as well. Okay, which is for my address. I'll pick my rectangular marquee tool here, select the address icon for the location. I'll just add the max layer on it, convert this to a smart object. I'll change the color, double click on it, my layer panels comes up, my layer style, change it. Ctrl T, scale down. Okay, and drag and position it around here. So I'll drag in and place the drinking IQ here. Select my rectangular marquee tool to crop out some part I don't need. I'll just add my max on it. Ctrl I to regain this. Right click, convert this to a smart object. Ctrl T, and I'll scale this down. Sorry, now right click and convert this to a smart object. Ctrl T, reduce the size and place it somewhere here. Ctrl H to hide my guide. So ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of today's video. So if you enjoyed this video, do well to give this video a like, and if you are new to this channel, do well to subscribe to this channel. Click on the subscribe button and turn on the post notification bell to get notification whenever I upload new content. can also follow me on my socials at YJ Digital World. Thank you guys for watching.